Friends, hello, hope you are well. Let's get right down to what's going on with Nvidia here. So obviously, from what we're all talking about, from comments to people just talking in the zeitgeist of the stock market right now, obviously all the main focus right now is on Nvidia. And is Nvidia going to continue to go up here? What is very possible, because Nvidia breaks all the rules and it really just does what it wants to. Or are we going to find resistance here, and resistance with a big sell? And there are things that are leaving a lot of us to suspect that we are going to see a pretty big decline here in Nvidia, and Lord willing we will, because a lot of people have sold out. They're selling out once we hit this 135 or more, because it's looking risky. It's looking very dangerous. It's looking very dangerous. I think it's pretty safe to say that. So here's the skibby. Thursday here, Jerome Powell will be talking, and usually when Jerome talks, it can do one of two things. It can make the market go crazy, or it can destroy your day. So with that, this is where you kind of have to just do what you want to do. And God knows I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just a guy with a YouTube channel who is just like you, who makes decisions based on the economics of what's going on around us, and trying to chisel out the news of what we see in front of us. So when Jerome Powell talks here, he's going to be talking about some things with his last meeting about the economy, where it's at, where they're projected to go. Maybe he'll even talking about more about in September with rate cuts, potentially. Who knows? Maybe. I don't know. We don't know. So, but if this meeting comes out positive, this could help. If there's not a sell-off here Tuesday, Wednesday, Tuesday, Wednesday, a big sell-off was Nvidia, then potentially by Thursday, if we do see bad news, we could see all stocks, including Nvidia, have a sell-off. This could trigger a sell-off in the market. So with this is stage one that could potentially happen. Now, Nvidia today hit 130. It still has not found that resistance, but do note that resistance right now is right around this 130, 135. That is where Nvidia is comfortable being. We've seen this where it's been before it had its big fall here. This is where Nvidia was, right around this 130 back in July. So we had the high coming off the split, then we had the massive dump here on August 7th, which Nvidia went to a low 90 spot. Now we've had this huge climb up. So we are trailing right on the line. I mean, we're actually higher than where we were even, right before this cliff dive in August. So it is leaving a lot of people to suspect this is a huge setup, and there will be a triggered sell here, maybe tomorrow or maybe Wednesday. If we don't see one then, and then we have bad news Thursday, I mean, if you're in this for the long run, you're fine, whatever. But obviously, if you're wanting to trade this in and out and get as much as your bang for your buck as possible, then you're going, I want to sell out very high and then buy back in. I think that's generally a lot of people here, and that's fine. That's honestly, I think that's the healthy decision right here, because Nvidia is expensive and we're wanting to get as much as we can of it going into the future. So personally, here's where this is just what I'm doing. I am not holding my breath for Powell to say something positive. And I'm not waiting, and I don't trust this market right now. I just don't trust the market. I just don't. What I'm doing is, if I see a 135, 140, I'm probably going to trigger a sell in Nvidia. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to take those profits. I'm going to be happy. I'm good. I'm great. I can't complain. I'm going to wait after that point to see what Nvidia does. Now, obviously, Nvidia has quarterlies, not this week, but next week, right in the middle of the week. So, what do we know about what these quarterlies are supposed to look like? More than likely, we know it's a strong gamble that these quarterlies are going to be just fine. If they're not amazing, they're going to be just fine. Everything's going to be great. So what's that going to do? That's going to drive up the stock even more. I find it pretty hard to believe right now with what we know is that Nvidia would have bad quarterlies. We're not really expecting that, especially when their last ones were so freaking insane. Usually when a company has amazing quarterlies, their next ones aren't terrible. It usually just keeps going right into the next quarterly. You can usually see a lag in quarterlies, and we're not seeing that with Nvidia here. It's quite the opposite. Now, this brings up the question in like phase 3 here of what could possibly happen here with everything. We're past quarterlies with Nvidia. Nvidia has done well. The stock's back up, even with a sell-off here, going back into maybe a $100 place or a $90 place, is where I'm hoping selfishly we go so I can buy back in at a very low rate. And that's why I'm talking about this trap. Say we're past all this, we're into September here. It's September and the market is kind of uncertain. We're going to go into this next presidential debate. Who knows what that's going to do for the market. If we have rate cuts in September, what usually comes after rate cuts? Recession. We've seen this time and time again. Now, this is a very unusual time because with this potential rate cut we could see in September, we have a presidential election here in November. So it's very hard to be an investor right now because you don't know where to go, and Kamala is very into different things than what Trump is into when it comes to economics. This does leave a safe place for Nvidia because Nvidia is making its own highway. It doesn't care what anything else is doing. It's going to do what it wants to do. But if we do see a recession, we will see a huge sell-off in everything. Nothing will be safe from a recession in the short term. But long term, we'll be fine here. But obviously, the main thing is I don't think a lot of people want to be majorly bag holding Nvidia, at $150, $160 going into a recession if we were to see one in October or maybe even December if after the election. So these are just my thoughts, and this is kind of, I feel like, what everyone is talking about from what I'm seeing, from things I'm seeing on just friends groups, comments, talking to friends on the phone, having coffee today with a friend. These are kind of things we're all saying right here. So kind of the thesis, the bullet points here. Will we see Nvidia sell off this week? Will Nvidia go down to probably 118? I'm taking a huge bet, and I'm going to say Nvidia will have a sell-off here. I think there will be a sell-off. If it doesn't, it'd be very strange for Nvidia to continue with this push. This is a huge push. I mean, this is unbelievable. I mean, we've gone from a huge dump to August 7th to almost we're going to a $40 push at this point if it keeps going. Very dangerous, very lucrative, very amazing if you cash out the right time, but very dangerous to where the bigger this thing goes, it is going to dump hard, and some people are about to get very mad. It's not a sense where you should be like devastated if you were to get caught in this dump coming up with Nvidia. It's just the thing of a situation where we know quarterlies are next week, and this is going to leave, where you could have missed out on a trade to, buy back in cheaper and have, another sell opportunity going into next week where we know Nvidia's, no matter what, probably by Tuesday, Wednesday, especially, Nvidia is going to be running back up into this 130, 140 spot. So that's what we know to be guaranteed at this point. And if they do, when they do make these good quarterlies, there's no telling what Nvidia is going to do at that point. So friends, this is just my thought. Let me know what you think. Be very careful with this. Don't go into this with, getting too emotional. Do what you have to do with this. Just know that this is setting up to be somewhat of a trap. If you feel comfortable buying at 130, buy at 130. If you're holding it for long term, it's not going to matter in a year, 6 months from now. It's just not. But obviously, if you're wanting to get bang for your buck, this is a little bit of a particularly dangerous situation where you might be able to get more if you're able to wait longer. If not, we're going to see something we really have. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense for it to go past 140. There's going to be a breaking point here at 135, 140. Something's got to break here. this is insanity. Nvidia wasn't even at these prices when it split after it split not long after it split. So, really take that into consideration. We're going into new territory and we haven't even seen these quarterlies yet. Friends, best of luck out there. Talk to you soon. Bye, everyone.